Access Hampton and Harris with Bobbi Roqumore, where the world of sports meets the mic and the hammer of the law.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a New Year's Eve edition of Hampton and Harris with Bobbi Roqumore. I'm Rick Hampton with my great friend John Harris. We're coming to you early today, a little matinee edition, because me and John going to be at the club all night.
I told you not to say nothing about that, man.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend, and hope you have a fun, safe New Year's Eve as we bring 2026 in. But John and I, Bobbi can't be with us today, but John and I want to just spend a few minutes with you guys this afternoon to kind of end the year and talk about some of the stuff, because there's a lot of stuff going on, JD, as we get ready to transition from 2025 to 2026 in the world of we got college football playoffs kicking off tonight. Got a great matchup with Miami and Ohio State. We got NFL playoffs, some huge games this weekend, NBA season. JD, the NBA season itself has just become so fascinating to me because there's so many scenarios out there that you could spend a whole show talking about one team's situation. And so we'll get into a little bit of that. But brother, how you doing? And welcome to everybody out there in Sports Fluent. Please send us your questions and comments for this afternoon version of Hampton and Harris.
Rick, I'm fantastic. Looking forward to the next few days and all the bowls and playoffs and playoff implications. And, you know, I coming to the season, I was not expecting to really follow the NBA, but I've really gotten kind of caught up into it with OKC and now with the San Antonio merging and all of that. But we're in bowl season now, like you mentioned. First big game tonight, Ohio State and Miami, an intriguing game. I'm wondering, I guess, the odds on what if Michael Irvin is going to get on all fours again tonight on the sideline.
Calm down, dude. Calm down.
I hope Miami doesn't lose just for his sake, to be honest with you. I'm a little concerned there.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. That should be a good game. The college football playoffs. And, you know, JD, there's been a lot of controversy over the teams that were selected. And I'm like, bro, I don't know why people thought raising it to 12 was going to solve things. They do college basketball, 64 teams, and people complain about who didn't get in then. So There's always going to be some complaints. I guess Notre Dame probably has the biggest complaint of all this year. If you think that, some people don't even think they have any reason to be complaining. But the Miami-Ohio State game tonight, it is going to be interesting. Ohio State is favored in this game. They're the number 2 seed, and Miami's the number 10 seed. And, man, the thing about Ohio State is on both sides of the offensive line, man, they are just – they're good old-fashioned they are a good old-fashioned Big Ten team on the offensive and defensive line. But then they got skill guys that can run for days. I mean, and that's what makes them a problem.
Well, mentioning their offensive line, that's going to be a fascinating matchup against Miami's defensive line, which probably is the best of the bowl teams. That's going to be a fascinating matchup. If they can stop the run in any way, and if they can apply pressure on the quarterback, So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pro scouts watching that
Oh
offensive
man,
line
yeah.
play as much as anything. The matchup. I mean, top offensive linemen against top defensive linemen. I mean, that's where football is won and lost, right? I mean, we
Yep.
got all the quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, but that's where the games are won and lost in the trenches. So I tell our listeners here or viewers today, keep an eye on the trenches, and you'll
Yeah.
find a chance of winning tonight's game.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll be keeping an eye on that kickoff 7:30 on ESPN, and it'll be the start of a a series of games over the weekend in college football. Uh, you got Oregon and Texas Tech playing
Yeah, that's gonna be a heck
tomorrow.
of a game. Yeah.
They kick off at noon. Alabama and Indiana. Uh, I, can't- I imagine
Indiana.
Indiana being a
Yeah.
favorite over Alabama in football, but that's what they are. They are definitely a favorite in that game. They're the number one seed. Bama's the number 9 seed. Georgia and Ole Miss uh, follows that one. So lots of football plus all the other standard bowl games. And and JD, they got. I mean, the bowl games are just. I totally get why guys don't even play in these games now, because they have
Oh
really
yeah.
lost their luster over the years. It used to be a big deal to play in a bowl game, especially New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But if your team's not in the playoffs, I mean, why do you even play? I guess unless you want to try to impress some NFL scouts, and if you hadn't done that by now,
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, and if you're one of the big final teams in the playoffs, and you're playing in a major conference anyway, scouts have seen, for the most part, what you're going to do against top quality
right?
competition, right? So, like you say, one more game, good or bad, and really, I mean, more than anything, these games can hurt you from an NFL standpoint as opposed to helping you, because the book is already written on most of these guys. So if they have you rated as a top 5 pick and you go out and lay an egg today, all you can do is go down. And also the mindset has changed because of NIL, because of the fascination with money now from not only coaches but players. Everybody's fixated on the dollars, and the players don't want to jeopardize that now. And I don't blame them.
I don't blame them, JD. Shoot, yeah, yeah. I do not blame them whatsoever. Michigan plays this afternoon with their new coach, Kyle Whittingham. They have Texas. That'll be a good. That's a non-playoff game that could be a good matchup. Michigan and Texas. So I'll probably be checking in on that one. But other than that, I'll definitely watch the playoff games as they transpire. The one tonight and the couple we have going on tomorrow. So that's what's going on in college football, and you guys know that out there. And I hope your teams are in it. And if they're not in it, they better get on it, boy, because the one thing they're doing college athletics now, they will fire your behind if you're not getting some of this money that's out there with your team.
Yeah, a word to the fans out there: tell your athletic departments and people to open up the checkbook, because that's what they need these days. It's all about money. Hate to break it to you, but look at Texas Tech. They just spent gobs of money, as much as anybody in NIL. Hey, and look where they are. It paid off. Last year they weren't very good. This year they're in the playoffs.
Look at Vanderbilt, man.
Vanderbilt.
I mean, Vanderbilt. Are you kidding me? They're playing now. They're playing Iowa now, and they were always. NIL came along, I was like, what are they going to do? Because they have always been terrible. But that goes to show you the power of money. They paying these guys to show up now, and they have put a good team out there. That they're not. It's a great team by Vandy standards because they were always so bad, JD. So that shows you how money can turn things around. And if you don't have any, you're not gonna win.
No, Vanderbilt, I know I have a personal interest in doing the running back. I don't know why his name slipped me, but he played here, and I'm in Austin, Texas, and their leading running back is from Austin, Texas, LBJ High School. And I know he wasn't really heavily recruited by the University of Texas, which is the hometown team. He's playing in the SEC. He's getting a wonderful education. And guess what? He's playing, right in the heart of the SEC. So he made a great, fantastic choice as far as college is concerned. And it shows you don't have to go to the big, huge schools all the time to, get an education or even to get seen by the scouts. If he had gone to Texas, he might have got lost in the running back shuffle. Where at Vanderbilt, he's had a chance to have a really, and I think more kids should look at that. Don't get blinded by the bright lights. Look at the best situation for you personally, academically, and possibly beyond, as far as professionally.
Is it Cedric Alexander? Yep.
Yes, Cedric Alexander. Yes.
Cedric, you're right, man. He averages 5.5 yards per carry.
Yes.
Over the course of the season. And this is his junior year. Yeah, he's had a very nice career at Vandy. Yeah,
great choice for him. And when he went to Vanderbilt was not, I think they were getting decent. So when he signed with them, it wasn't like they are now. He wanted to go to Vanderbilt because, it was a good academic school and it's in the SEC. But look at what's happened for him. Great choice as far as colleges. Yeah.
Now, JD, do we want to stick with college, man? Let's jump to the NFL because I really want to spend. I want to talk some NFL. We got some big games coming on. You're the author of the Mike Tomlin book, and could his tenure in Pittsburgh be on the line this weekend?
There's a lot of different scenarios to that. You have to be here. And I'm not in Pittsburgh, but I really follow the media closely there. I'm telling you right now, that game where the fans booed and said fire Tomlin, and then they went on a 3-game winning streak and it quieted down. But I'm here to tell you, if they lose against Baltimore Sunday night and don't make the playoffs, or even if here's the crazy thing about Pittsburgh, even if they do make the playoffs, if they don't win a playoff game, the fans are going to say, whatever. That's how they are. That's where they are at this point. They're just kind of, it's like a marriage, for a long time marriage. And you start really seeking everything. You don't look at the positives anymore. You look at, she does this too much or whatever. And that's how our Steelers fans, that's how they are with Tomlin now. They're, they've heard his press conferences. They're rolling their eyes at it. The bravado, the sunglasses on the sideline, everything he can do annoys them now. And they want to see a playoff win, which hasn't happened since 2016. So if he loses Sunday night, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't see the Steelers firing him, but I just think what I think about Mike Tomlin, what I think, writing the book and having covered him for 10 years, I think he does need to change in a sense that you've been doing this for 19 years. I think he can stay. I think he can be successful, but I think he has to maybe change a little bit. I think he has to change his offense. I think he has to trust his offense more. I think he has to bring in an offensive coordinator and let that offensive coordinator coach. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to he's very controlling, which happens. I think there's a lot of Mike Tomlin that we haven't seen yet, and I think he's very conservative. He believes in the Steelers always ranked very high in not committing turnovers and creating turnovers. He values possession. He does not want to turn the ball over.
Well, that is a solid foundational concept.
Oh, yeah. But the fans, they want more from the offense, and I think the only way that's going to change is he's going to have to change. He's going to have to trust. Maybe that'll come from the top. Maybe the ownership, Art Rooney II. Maybe someone will say something. Hey, you know what? We're going to, teams are now doing this offensively. We're going to need to do some more of that. And we love you, Mike. We want you to stay here. Hell, as long as you want. But we're going to have to do some things differently with the offense. I don't know if he's willing to do that. If they win, they'll host a first-round playoff game, which is good. They're going to play a pretty good team. So there's a lot of pressure. Now, if they win, there's a lot of pressure now for the Steelers the rest of the season. The Baltimore game is pressure. The playoff game is pressure. So yes, I guess if you're a Steelers fan, you have to ask yourself, can this team win 3 playoff games in a row? Along with winning the game against Baltimore to get in. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they can string together.
Yeah. This is a playoff game.
Yes, it is. It is unofficial. And the same for Baltimore. Because a lot of Baltimore fans want Harbaugh fired. And they're very similar. Ironically, Tomlin and Harbaugh had success. They've each won a Super Bowl, but they haven't had the greatest success lately. So a lot of Baltimore fans are also at wit's end with their head coach. So this could have ramifications for either of these teams as far as the head coaching situation. So that's what makes the game so fascinating. That's why NBC's put it on Sunday night, prime time, so the ratings will go through the roof. And it will have a playoff atmosphere. It will have a playoff atmosphere. It's going to be very interesting.
And it's going to be interesting to see how many coaches survive the season. I'm just looking at some teams now. Will Las Vegas just say, send Pete Carroll, say, look, man, thank you, but I know it's just a year, but just go home. Aaron Glenn's brand new in New York. They're only 3-13. I think they'll give him another chance. Tennessee Titans got a new coach. His first year, I don't know what they're doing. Cleveland, 4-12. Cleveland, they're 4-12, man, but they got some good parts on that team. But Stefanski, he had one great year there, and they may be looking to make a move with them. But you know what? But I was not surprised that they beat Pittsburgh. Number one, it was last weekend they upset the Steelers. They shouldn't have, but I'm not surprised because it's a division foe. You go in their house, and the divisional games are so much different because you know the opposition so well.
It's the 4th straight loss for Pittsburgh in Cleveland. They've lost their last 4 games in Cleveland.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And the quarterbacks that they've lined up in those 4 games is unbelievable. Who's the guy? Shador this time. I forgot who it was last. Last year was Jameis. It was Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis.
Yes. I mean, they've had like 4 different quarterbacks in each of their wins in the last. It shows you just how ridiculous Cleveland's quarterback situation is. They've had 4 wins over the Steelers at home the last 4 years, 4 different quarterbacks. That's insane.
And excuse me, JD, I'm fighting a little cold. And the Steelers are clearly the better team each time. But that happens. I wasn't surprised when Pittsburgh came to Detroit and beat the Lions.
That's surprising. And I think that's what here. Going back to the Pittsburgh fans, they were booing like crazy, fire Tomlin. So then this team turns around and wins 3 straight, right? Including this big win in Detroit. So
Right.
now all of a sudden they're pumped again, right? They're excited. Oh man, we went there and beat the Lions. So now they kind of got them worked back up again, right? And then they lose to Cleveland, which kind of puts them mentally back in the same place they were before. Now they're like, here we go again. So it's been a roller coaster ride with this team this year, and it's not going to get any easier without DK Metcalf, who's suspended for the last 2 games.
What's the best team you've seen overall this year, JD?
Best NFL team?
What's the best team that meets your eye? Just your eye test. Who's looked the best?
Man, that's a good question. I
It's
mean,
really
different
hard to say,
times.
isn't it?
Yeah, different times. I mean, to me, the most talented team is the Eagles, but you just never know what you're going to get with them. I've seen moments with the Rams, and then you see what they did on Monday night.
Right.
You know, Seattle at times has looked good, but I've seen them look. You know, this might be the year, as crazy as it sounds. And the Super Bowl is in San Francisco. That this is the year before the 49ers were favored. You know, they had the team to win the Super Bowl and they didn't. Maybe this is the year, and I'm not going to say they're the best team I've seen, but maybe this is the year they slip in there. They've been playing unbelievably well with all the key injuries they had.
Yeah.
Maybe because no one's really expecting it from them, and there's really no pressure on them. Maybe they make it to the Super Bowl. They're right there. So I don't see in the AFC, Chargers at times. It's just so hard to really pinpoint. Maybe a Jacksonville, which has been hot lately. Maybe
Buffalo is up and down. New England has looked. I hadn't physically watched many of their games, in full, but what I've seen from them has been remarkable because they may have been like 3-13 last year, maybe won 5 or 6 games.
They're terrible.
But Mike Vrabel has come in and done a outstanding job there. He's probably in line for Coach of the Year.
Done a tremendous job. I'm not sold on them long right now, but I think he has turned it around. I just things that people have talked about their schedule. I really haven't paid much attention to that. It just doesn't usually happen that fast as far as a team that's going to the Super Bowl, even though they have a great record. Because I saw Buffalo a few weeks ago went up to New England and spanked them, which I thought was a lesson, which probably was a good lesson for them to learn. But yeah, record-wise, they've got a great record. I'm just not.
And there's something to that, what you said about schedule. They're playing that last place schedule.
Yeah.
And they're playing in the East. So you get New York twice.
Yep.
Playing in the East. Yeah. And you get Miami twice. I mean, what an adventure Miami has been.
Yeah.
And who else you got? New England, Miami.
You got Buffalo.
And Buffalo.
I think they beat.
And Buffalo's in a rag team. So
yeah.
Plus you're playing all the other last place teams.
Yeah, that'll change next year. And then I guess we'll really. And
you
then
see that
also
first
when
place schedule.
teams get more tape on the quarterback. And I've always had the belief of all the pro sports, I think NFL coaching, to me, is the best. Because when they get you on tape, they get you're seeing great players one year, and the next year they're like, they bottom out. And a lot of it's just them picking up tendencies, taking away what you do good, making you do something else. So I think, I just think that's the best overall coaching in pro sports are the NFL coaches. They do a masterful job of studying and taking away what teams do well and making them do what they don't want to do.
You know what? I am a big fan of Justin Fields. I just like the kid.
Yeah.
And I want him to do well. He just seems like a great kid.
Wow.
But he had a really good year in Chicago. But he's running around, and he's throwing these design passes to certain places where he doesn't have to do a lot. And people got the book on him, and he was never able to look, don't let this kid get out of the pocket because he'll run like Barry Sanders when he gets out of the.
It's funny that you mention him. I've heard through the grapevine that they still like him. I know. I guess they said he had a knee injury, and that there's going to be some coaching change. Like I say, I agree. I think the head coach will be back, and I think there's going to be some changes at the quarterback coaching position there. There's a coach I've heard out there, actually a person who kind of looks like us, who may be going to New York next year, who's known as being a specialist in working with quarterbacks. Has had great tutelage. I don't want to throw his name out there because I don't want to look stupid, but right. I'll revisit it. So I'll keep my eye on that situation and see if that happens.
I hope that happens because Justin Fields is the kind of kid you root for. The guy works hard. He's a team guy. Yeah. He's very talented, JD.
Oh, super talented.
But just like you said, when these guys dig in on you at that level, that's what I love about the NBA playoffs too, man.
Yep, same thing.
When you get into the playoffs and these teams can dig in on you and scout you, bro, you better bring something to the table or you're going to be in trouble. But let's go to the NBA. But before we do, I got to ask you about the new edition of the Tomlin book for our viewers out there. And I see people checking in now. Yeah, we on this afternoon matinee version before me and JD hit the club. So talk to us about that right quick, JD.
Yeah, Tomlin, the soul of football coach. It's been pretty timely this year because of how the season is going, and how the Steelers are in the news, how Tomlin is constantly in the news. He's just a fascinating subject to me. I just think his story in general is fascinating. Win or lose this year, his whole career, the totality of his career, to me is a fascinating one. I'm glad I wrote the book. I hope people read it, not only because I want to sell books, but I think a lot of times we get so shaped by the media and the narratives that the media gives us about players, coaches, or whatever, and we follow those narratives wherever, off to the end of the cliff. And I think if you read my book, it tells you a lot about his foundation, how he started as a coach, a college coach, coaching at small colleges, doing the jobs nobody else wanted to do. His career is a combination of that. It's a combination of being in the right place at the right time. It's a combination of having some great people endorsing him. But, that's life. That's kind of how it goes. Everybody needs somebody or something along the way. And now I'm looking at
JD, we lost you. JD, I lost you for a second. Can you still hear me?
It's trying to see if he's going to evolve now to the next level. Yeah, I hear you. I got you.
I lost you for about,
you got me?
Go back about 20 seconds. We lost you. 15, 20 seconds. With Tomlin, regarding Tomlin.
Okay. Yeah, you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think now the book, I think now one of the differences in the paperback as opposed to the hardback is I look at the last few years, I look at this year, and I look at the changes that were made, the additions, the players that were acquired, including Aaron Rodgers. And it's almost, I'm not going to say desperation, but you don't make the moves that they made in the offseason for the heck of it. You bring in Aaron Rodgers, who's now 42. You bring in some of the players that they brought in. You're looking to win something. And he mentioned it a few times, Tomlin.
We're trying to win in the offseason.
Yeah, right? You're not looking to be doing this, right? And so just those acquisitions alone put more of a spotlight on the Steelers to me. Because what if you don't even make the playoffs, having made all these moves? What do you do next? Do you bring Aaron Rodgers back again next year? He'll be 43.
JD, I think he said he's not interested in coaching collegiately.
I don't think so.
He would be a great college coach if he ever wanted to do something like. But you know what? Now, Tomlin's not going to coach college because he's not going to put up with the NIL BS.
Oh, no.
He's not going, Coach, I think
No.
if you don't play me this week, I'm going to transfer. Can I help you pack? Because
no,
that ain't how this
college
works.
is not. It would just be so. You have to change your network. I mean, even if you know a lot of NFL coaches in your network, now you're coaching college. It's different. Recruiting, you got to spend hours and hours and hours on the road, on the phone, dealing with these kids, dealing with their families. Now you're dealing with NIL. Now you're dealing with families and uncles and agents and all kind of people that you didn't have to deal with before. Plus, you're just coaching. It's a different type of coaching. Coaching NFL players and coaching college players is two different things. It's a different mindset for the coach. I think there's a job for Mike Tomlin, whether it's still in Pittsburgh or another NFL team. I think if he had his druthers, he'd rather stay in Pittsburgh and finish it out. I think, to me, it's simple.
He will get a job.
Yeah. To me, it's simple. Beat Baltimore, win a couple playoff games.
Yeah.
No problem. We're good. It's not complicated what needs to be done. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's asking a lot to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you went out, you acquired these players, veterans, guys that wanted to come and play for Mike Tomlin, wanted to feel like they had a chance to win something. And I think it's all right here right now. I don't want to hear about injuries. I look at the 49ers.
Right.
Injuries, the 49ers have been just ravaged by injuries all year, but they just keep playing. And sooner or later, you just have to get that mindset and just do it. And consistency. They need to go out. To me, they need to run the ball and keep running the ball and keep running the ball and keep running the ball on Sunday. They have a good running game. They just don't stick with it, to me, as much as they should. And just and make some big plays on defense. They're at home. Like I said, I don't think it's complicated. I think sometimes we make things too complicated. And
they've always done a good job against Lamar too.
They've always did. Historically they've done very well against Baltimore. And they beat them earlier. They beat them earlier this year. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a fascinating game. Probably 13-10 or something like that. That's how those games usually go between them.
Hey, well, bro, we moving on, man, to the witching hour before we got to get out of here. Let's get to the NBA and first of all, I want to throw up your 10 decks ratings and let's do a review of that. I'm always anxious to see what's happening in the world of 10 decks and see where my Pistons are sitting. Whoa, number one. Number one in the East, even after losing 2 games on the road trip, but losing 2 games on a West Coast road trip, they'll be gone about 12 days. Isn't too bad. One, they shouldn't have lost to Sacramento, but you were giving them a slight edge over the Knicks. Yeah.
Well, I mean, 10 decks it's over. It's an accumulation. So, I mean, you can have a couple bad games. We have a couple good games, so it doesn't change. But there have been some changes since the last time we did ratings 2 weeks ago. Some teams' ratings have gone up. Some teams' ratings have gone down. It's a good way to chart how a team is playing overall, I think, as opposed to just looking at their record. Because the Lakers still have a really good record, so to speak.
Right.
But their 10 decks is continuing to go down.
Right.
But, yeah, the Pistons are – like we talked a few weeks ago. I mean, I would not be shocked if they were in the finals this year. It would not shock me at all for them to get there.
But why is Boston still playing so well without losing? They lost their best player.
I know.
Jason Tatum. And they're sitting at 105.3 in the 10 decks rating.
Yeah, they're improving since I know the last time we did the rating. It's gone up. Brown. I mean, it's before where he was sharing the ball with Tatum. Now it's his team, right? And they're always been very good with pressure and shooting those threes. And I just think they're getting more comfortable as a unit now. Without Tatum,
without having Tatum,
and with Brown as the guy, right? And good coaching, and from Missoula. and they're, they've proven they won a championship 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
3 years ago. So they're proven. They have proven players on that team, and I don't know if they have what it takes to get to the finals without a Tatum, but it's nice to see that they've the players have bought into it, and they're starting to play at a consistent level. And that's what I like about Tendex is that you can gauge over the course of the season how a team progresses or regresses. And clearly, right now, Boston is playing some of the best basketball in the NBA.
I watched the Sixers last night win a thriller against Memphis, and they're still all the way down at 99.
Yeah.
Is that because you just don't know what Joel Embiid's going to give you nowadays?
Yeah. I mean, but remember the ratings are also include what they're doing. A lot of it's defense. The ratings also include what the team is doing, what the opponents or the combined opponents are doing. So that means defense. How are you performing defensively? So it's not always the individual players what they're not doing. It's what the team may not be doing. But yeah, I think Embiid is, what you have to do if you're the coach on that team looking at that, you have to use the players that are most effective. And maybe sometimes that means maybe not using Embiid as much as he was in the past. Apparently he got upset one day when he was taken out of a game or what have you. And, I kind of respect the coach for doing that because most coaches don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
He said, you're not performing. Whether it was defense, whether it was offense, I don't know. But yeah, 99, they're just not a championship caliber team. They have names, Paul George, Joel Embiid.
Right.
I would focus on the young guys, the young guards that they have, and probably Paul George, and keep Embiid's numbers, his minutes reduced to a certain level, and try to get the max out of him that way. You can't play him. You can't play him major minutes. He just can't do it. Just physically, he's not able to do that.
And Knicks sitting at 106.3, and they play the Pistons. I believe they play Monday.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be a good matchup. Monday in Detroit, Miami. They always just hang around there, man.
Yeah. They're just good enough. They're good enough. They're good enough. They're competitive. They don't have the elite guys anymore. And apparently Pat Riley's happy with that. Did the president? We're not really going to compete for a championship, but we like being competitive, and I'm good with that.
Did you think Milwaukee would be better, or do you think they're right where?
Well, you've had your big guy hurt, right? And they've never been the same, since they made the trade a couple years ago.
Right.
They never recovered from that. And then, then Giannis gets hurt this year. So it's been a team in transition. You can't overcome the loss of your best player. Still trying to develop chemistry. They just, they're one of the lowest rated Tendex teams in the NBA. I can't see them going from 97 to 106 this year. That would be a huge jump. Maybe they're good enough to be the last team in the playoffs, something like that. That might be the best they can hope for.
Yeah, well, they're sitting at 11 right there, and they're barely ahead. I think they're a game ahead of Charlotte, maybe two.
Yeah.
In the 12th spot.
Yeah, they have identical ratings going into this week, which should tell you something.
But JD, here's how quickly things can change. Last year, Indiana was in the finals, had a chance to win the thing.
Yep.
They're now 6-27.
Yeah.
And it has to be more than the injury to Halliburton.
Yeah, well, the big guy, remember the big guy left. What was the big guy's name? He left and went to Milwaukee.
Miles Turner.
Yeah, that's a big loss too. And Halliburton. Those are two huge losses. And I don't know what they really did to bring anybody in. Maybe I can't really say who they brought in to kind of maybe fill the gap a little bit. You can't have two losses like that and not replace it in some form or fashion.
Right. Yeah.
You just can't. And I guess they're just waiting out this year. Count up that this is a bad year. We had a great year last year, and hopefully we'll get better next year. But not only with Halliburton coming back, but they're going to have to get another big at some level, whether it's the draft or what have you, to make up for that loss.
Okay, and we're West, and as you say in your notes, after losing 3 in a row to San Antonio and once to Minnesota, OKC's rating has fallen from 115 to 113, whereas San Antonio has gone from 1035 to 1005 from 1 to 105.1, and the Lakers has dipped. And we'll get to the Lakers, but I want to start at OKC. Even with their recent so-called struggles, they're still head and shoulders above everybody in the West. And now Denver's going to be without the Joker for at least a month.
Yeah, that rating's going to drop. This is that their dropping will be a good opportunity for San Antonio and Minnesota to really move up in there during that time. That's a huge loss. Losing the Joker is a huge, huge loss for them.
But JD, as you well know, for a lot of these guys, can you still see the? Let me get this back up there. Yeah, for a lot of these guys, and having covered the NBA, you're gonna have these little. It's 82 games, man. It is a long, hard struggle from the start. So there's no need to panic when you see you have a bad couple of weeks. No. When you got a good team like OKC.
Yeah, that was funny. The media, I don't really kind of get the OKC hate. I kind of started last year with, what was her name? Doris Burke called Shea the free throw merchant, and the social media picked up on it. And a lot of former players have been kind of ripping on, okay, they're not that good. Wait till they play good teams. Oh, I told you, see, they lost to San Antonio. And to me, that's to your point. Yeah, San Antonio is really good. But San Antonio has to realize that they're not going to be playing OKC every game. They're going to have other games against teams that may not be as good.
Right.
And we were talking about Cleveland. They lost to Cleveland the other night. So that's going to happen. Does that mean now that San Antonio's not that good because they lost to Cleveland at home? No. It's just what happens during the NBA. And teams come off of road trips, 3 games in 5 nights or whatever. You never know what the circumstance might be during the season. And, OKC has won a couple games by big scores since then. They haven't been against San Antonio. They're against the teams that are on their schedule. And I think every team is going to go through that. Every team is going to have some good wins and some bad losses. To me, OKC, I think they're okay. But if they do get into the playoffs and they do go up against San Antonio, they're going to have to figure out a way to counter some of the problems, the matchup problems that San Antonio present to them. That's going to be key. But I think they realize, that's a long way off. And we got to make sure we maintain what we've been doing so we can keep that number 1 seed. And, and when we get to the playoffs, we'll deal with that when it'll be different. When we get to focus on San Antonio for 7 games, I'm going to guarantee that their guards aren't going to be hitting those threes like that every game.
Exactly.
It ain't going to happen like that. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about earlier in the show, JD. When they start digging in on you, man, it's a different deal. Yeah. These shots you've been getting, I've been able to do this all season. We know. That's why we're about to take that from your ass. You're going to do something else. But JD, even with their struggles, man, they're 28-5, bro.
I broke down. I did the 10-dex on the 3 games between those 2 teams. Just look at the stat. And in those 3 games, San Antonio scored 37 more points total than OKC. They had 9 more assists. The big difference was 3-point shooting. San Antonio was 32 of 111. San Antonio was 40 or 107. San Antonio shot like around 40%, and OKC shot around 30%. That was the big. If you really want to look at it, say, what was the big difference? That and Wemby just being an intimidator in the middle. Those were the two big things. So if you're OKC, you say, okay, if they can hit those threes like that in a 7-game series, guess what? We're not going to beat them.
Yeah, well, if that happens over 7 games, you tip your hat. That's all. Hey, before we get out of here, man, I got to touch on what I saw last night.
Yeah.
The Pistons and the Lakers. I mean, it was just a total wipeout from the Pistons, who been on the road for like 10 days going into last night.
Wow.
And they go into L.A. and just wipe the floor with the Lakers. And I give Reggie Miller credit. He was calling the game. He called out the poor defensive effort that the Lakers were giving. And he especially focused in on Luka Doncic's lack of effort on defense. The Pistons shot, I think they shot 60% for the game.
Wow.
And half of that 126 points, they might have had 80 points in the paint. I don't know. It was a ton of points they scored in the paint. And the Lakers are 20 and 11 now.
Yeah.
But that's not a 2011 team I saw last night.
Well, look, I tell you, look at their Tendex. Look at the Lakers Tendex, and look at Detroit's Tendex.
Yeah.
And you tell me that's not an upset. That Detroit is clearly a better team. If you just go by Tendex, Detroit is a better team, and they showed it. Last night.
You wouldn't know that about the announcers, though.
No, that's the problem. It's just the hype. The hype.
It's the Lakers.
Well, we've seen them enough. We saw them enough in the playoffs last year, getting beaten in the first round by Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then JJ Redick with the performative press conference the other day. Oh, we're going to have a meeting. It's going to be uncomfortable. Well, what happened? I guess they didn't listen to him last night, huh? Because they doing the same thing that they did before that. Oh, yeah, we got people in that. Okay, well, they're still doing it. Guess what, JJ? They're going to keep doing it. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And it ain't going to change. You can't make Luka into a defensive player. He doesn't play defense. Right. And that's just okay. But, okay, if that's the case, it's the Lakers, their job, their front office's job, to bring in people that can counter that, to bring in defensive specialists.
Right.
You're not going to change Luka. That's who he is.
And LeBron can't guard at 41. I mean, it's just no. I mean, I get that brother props for the things he can do at 41, but one thing he can't do is guard people anymore.
So that's 2 year starters, right? That are just liabilities, and that doesn't include Reeves, who's not in right now.
Yeah, Reeves not, and once he get right,
that's 3. So that's 3 year starters, the defensive liabilities.
So that's going to be a problem for them going forward. Hey, give us one more interesting little nugget from the West before we get out of here, JD.
I think that Houston is steady. I think they're going to be where they're at all year. I'm not sold on their point guard situation as far as the playoffs are concerned. I don't know if Van Vliet will be back in time. I know he's out. They're starting point guard. If he would be back for the playoffs, whatever, that would be a really big help for them. I think Minnesota is like a wild card. I'm getting tired of the crying. I saw the Minnesota coach got thrown out a couple of weeks ago when they were playing OKC. He was crying that, hey, they foul every time, blah, 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 blah. So to me, when you're saying that, they're in your head. Now, Minnesota won that game. Good for them. But that team is in your head.
Yeah.
The OKC is in Minnesota's head. With that type of, oh, man, I'm crying. I'm going to get thrown out of the game because they just foul all the time. Oh, man, they just fouling all the time. When OKC was getting beat up a couple years ago, wasn't nobody crying for them. They took their lumps, got better, and evolved into a team that won a championship last year. You
Right.
know,
They paid their dues. They paid their
yeah,
dues.
yeah, they were joke. People, they were laughing stocks. People laughed at them all the time. They were a joke. But that's how it is when you win, right? When you get up on top, all of a sudden, you know, you're not any good anymore. I mean, they're still good. They have an albatross right now. It's called Wemby. They got to figure out how to deal with him.
What do you think about Phoenix, JD?
Good team, good young talent. Maybe too young in certain spots, but capable of beating anybody, particularly the Lakers, which my man revels in that. What's my man's name? He revels in that. The Rodman 2.0, who fancies himself as Rodman, who's always trying to get into it with LeBron. I mean, I think they're good. I think they're talented. You know, plus their main shooter, their guard has been hurt, right? He's been out most of the year, hasn't he? Who's the guard's name that people used to compare to Kobe Bryant during that year they went to the finals?
Phoenix's guard?
They said he was going to be Kobe Bryant, but it never happened. Played in Kentucky. Why am I bad with names?
I'm going over the roster right now.
He's been hurt for a while. The shooting guard.
I mean, Devin Booker's been out?
Well, yeah. He might be back now, but he's been out for a while. He's been out. I mean, if he's in...
I thought I just saw him playing the other day.
He might have come back, but I know he'd missed several games.
Booker. Yeah.
I think they're on their way.
Booker's a Michigan guy, too. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. And the Green, who has the 50-year-old girlfriend, or maybe she's not 50. Green.
Jalen Green.
He's been hurt, but I saw a game he played. Very, very talented guy, man. He could play.
Yeah, I remember he was always mad about being drafted behind Cade Cunningham.
Oh, really?
I think the Pistons got that one right with Cade over Jalen.
Ain't nothing to be mad about that. That's just the way it is. I mean, they got young talent. I like them. Maybe a year or so away. But the West is tough. There's no doubt.
The West is just so. That's what I was gonna say. The West is so tough, man.
The West is tough.
You better come strong, or you gonna be stuck in the middle with the Lakers and Golden State and all the Clippers. Hey, I got to give Kawhi Leonard his props.
I saw that. Like he's getting back to his old self. That's good to see. Great talent.
The only thing, is he gonna play the next game, man?
We don't know. we don't know.
He was JD. He was terrific. Yeah. I saw he worked the Pistons over, and the Pistons got some young guys that will defend you. The Twin and Holland. Oh yeah. Hey, it did not matter, man.
Well, we said a few years ago, people were saying he was the best player in the NBA. Remember that, right? He was, hopefully he's over his injury issues. Superb talent. You know, some people were saying that they were going to be one of the teams to beat in the West this year. I don't see that happening, but they definitely can be a playoff team and can cause some serious problems in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they won like 4 straight. So, but they were let's see where they are here. They are LA Clippers. Damn, they won. JD, they won 5 straight and they're still 11-21.
Wow. Yeah.
With a 5-game win streak.
Yeah, and are they going to keep playing like that? Are they going to keep? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like we said about the NBA. Everybody has their stretches.
That's true.
When they get on a roll, and that's the thing about OKC, just consistency. I think the losing to San Antonio in a sense was good. It forces them to look in the mirror a little bit and really address their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Their weaknesses against a team like San Antonio. How do we counter that?
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. I know you got to go. At one time, I was looking at their draft picks. They have a ton of draft picks. And maybe they need to look at that draft pick and just bring in the best guy. I thought for a while, they just got to fit. They got everybody, right? Maybe they need to just bring another super talent to counter a San Antonio. San Antonio's got some some talented young guards along with Wemby.
They got the last 3 rookie of the years.
Yeah. So maybe maybe OKC needs another guy to go with Shai. You know, another super. They've got great guys that fit their roles, but maybe they need another great talent, you know, with him and Williams to counter that, because that team is young. San Antonio is going to be in the mix for a long time with that talent.
Yeah, but I love it because it's going to be fun to watch them go at each other.
It's going to be great.
Hey, but brother, I got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. I hope everybody has a fabulous new year. We'll be back. We're here every Wednesday. We're working on some different times right now during the holidays, but we'll get that to you. But for my great friend John Harris, I'm Ricky Hampton. Happy New Year, everybody. See you next year, JD.
All right, now, Rick. Happy New Year.
Happy.
Chai.